It's your boy Maurice I. Jones here, and I want to encourage you guys today. In this video, we're going to be talking about just getting started. So, I wanted to share with you guys my journey on how I got here to a place where I'll call it a new starting point. If you're like me and you've been in the entrepreneur space for any amount of time, there's two types of avenues you could take. I'll say three. One is the people that figure it out and they just take off running with it. Two are the people that keep trying, they're trying to figure it out, but they never really take off. And then it's the people that never figure it out. And with the advancement of technology and where we are today as a society, as people, a lot of us may be feeling overwhelmed, maybe feeling frustrated, maybe feeling like they have to rush to figure out where they are in the entrepreneur space right now. And I follow a lot of people. You probably follow a lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs, people that are doing it. They're giving free game, free advice all the time on social media. But for some reason, it's just not registering. It's not clicking. I believe that the simple thing that I've discovered for myself is just start. Like you have to just start. You have to be true to yourself when you start, but just start. And what happens a lot of times is all these people are showing the different ways that and the different systems that have worked for them to find success. And you want to say, "Hey, maybe I can do that thing. Maybe I can do drop shipping. Maybe I can become an author. Maybe I can publish that book. Maybe I can do an online course." Right? And you're trying to do all these things, but nothing has truly been authentic to you because you see that it's possible for you to do, but it's not what you were designed to do. I believe all of us have a specific design, a specific assignment, a specific ability that is unique to us. And it could be a circumstance that triggers that. It could be a life experience that that triggers that. Like for me, it was me reflecting. I just turned 34 yesterday on the making of this video. But the 19th now, I turned 34 on the 17th. And I might not look it, but God's been good to me. But it took me realizing like life is moving. Even though I look young, life is moving. And we have to realize a lot of the decisions that we make where we are right now in our lives is based on us, what we've done, what was brought us here to this moment is all a reflection of how we've responded to life. And so it takes you understanding who you are in this moment and realizing what you're truly called to do. And at that point, the breaking starts to happen. You start to realize, hey, I might have some new idea. I might have something unique for me to launch out with, right? What is your story? How did you get to this point right here? I've been hearing a lot of people talking about that leap of faith that it takes to start that business, and I've taken a couple leaps. Some jumped pretty far, some did not go anywhere at all. I've been up and down the entrepreneurial roller coaster of trying some things out, and some things worked, but I didn't like it. If I had stuck with it, it would have been a lot better because it wasn't true to me. It wasn't true to who I am. And when you find that connection of what's true to you and who you are and what will bring gain and what will impact others, right? That's the true system that has been placed within you is figuring out what am I passionate about? What is my story? And how can I help others? How can I positively impact others? And in what way can I package that and monetize from that? You can just be sharing your story all the time on YouTube and make enough videos to where you can monetize from that. You can have a situation where you've overcome something in your life that people are trying to figure out the answers to. Right now is a pivotal time. AI is taking over the virtual space. People are becoming millionaires overnight, and you probably feel anxious. You probably feel anxiety. You probably feel overwhelmed. Like I need to figure something out, right? But this is the perfect time to figure out who you are. Take a step back. What I call them virtual mentors because I read a lot of books, I do a lot of podcasts, and I have a circle of individuals that I feed off of that impart into my life. And one thing that I've gathered is really finding my one thing. What is my one thing that I could speak to consistently? Yeah, I'm skilled in a lot of areas, But what is the one thing that I know I can share with others and it be impactful? And you have to ask yourself that, what is your one thing? Looking back over my life, looking back at how the Lord has brought me through these past few years, leaving a toxic job situation to a job that I truly love, learning how to navigate and build a business on the side while I work a 9 to 5. Because some people want to quit their job, right? They want to quit their job and launch into something. Some people want to keep the job they got and make a side business. Every lane is different for everyone. And it wasn't until I left that previous job that I figured out that better is out there. And then on the personal side, my wife and I overcoming child loss, having 2 miscarriages, 2 stillborns, right? Losing 4 kids in the amount of a 3-year span, and then just navigating that, navigating transition, navigating going from being dependent on family continually, like trying to build your family up, and but being in a place of struggle, being in a place of that could take someone out. Like most people will fall into a deep depression. Divorce happens when traumatic experience like this hit people. But with us having God at the center, a strong community, strong family unit, being able to navigate that and figuring out how to overcome that is where you find your calling, your purpose. A lot of people take things that have happened that they have no experience in. How to continue to minister and serve God, how to continue to keep my business afloat, going on and off for 10 years, but then finally finding a lane that works. How to be able to be a great father that stands up for my kids and say, "Hey, I know you're too young to really understand what is happening right now, but this is a product of life, dealing with loss, and not just losing possible siblings for my kids, but us, my wife and I, losing children, us losing family members, friends throughout COVID. COVID had a big impact on a lot of people, and being able to navigate that and say, "Hey, I overcome that area of stress, frustration, of feeling depressed, and really getting into a place where you could say, hey, we're doing this. This is where we are now." And a lot of people just need that launch. And so I came up with basically a formula on how to launch, right? Speaking to my experiences is, how do you figure out who your target is? And it's really finding out your gifting, finding out your gifting and seeing how you can impact someone with your gift, being the authentic. You might do that through a book. You might do that through a course. You might do that through a clothing line. You might do that through public speaking. You might do that through counseling, coaching, whatever it is. I was told there's $1 million market for every industry. So what is true and genuine to you, you will find success if you stay consistent in that. I stepped into my lane, and when I decided to be consistent on the back end, when I decided to be consistent, that's when I started getting clients. That's when I started getting referrals. That's when my name started speaking for itself. Hey, I worked with Maurice. He helped me do this in my business, and I was able to achieve these goals that I didn't think was imaginable because he's a man of his word. I heard about him. This is what I'm doing now. So, what is your thing that you can help people with? What are you knowledgeable of that you can share? Right now, I say that it's the perfect time for you to profit off of yourself. You are your niche. You are your target audience. What did you do to get to your point? How did you overcome? How did you figure it out? How did you figure out how to start a business? How did you figure out how to deal with trauma? How did you figure out how to keep your family together? How did you figure out all these things? Because somebody needs to know. How did you grow a digital marketing business using AI? How did you build a successful podcast consistently? People are looking for these answers, and you figured out how to do something. So get online, start sharing your story, start sharing the path that you took to get here. Because someone needs that remedy. Someone needs the package, the way that you put it together. What is unique about you that is different from everybody else? What can you offer the world? What can you package? What can you gift the world that would change the lives of others? Now, you might not have the million followers, but you might not have the thousand subscribers, but you may. But you have to be authentic to you. And once you tap into your authentic self and be real with who you are, who God has called you to be, and present that to the world, God's going to do the rest. But you have to overcome self sabotage. You have to overcome imposter syndrome. You have to overcome that fear of launching out and doing what God has called you to do. And once you figure that out, you're on your way. But it takes you first understanding, hey, I'm in a fearful place. I'm afraid of what my friends might say. I'm afraid of what these random strangers commenting on my post are gonna think. I'm afraid of what my family is gonna say, of me having this persona, this personality, sharing this vulnerable side of myself and going to the family functions, all that kind of stuff, and they're giving their feedback. I'm afraid of that, right? You have to be able to overcome that. You have to be able to be true to who you are. And once you accept that, that is step one. That is your day one of you launching in to be who you're called to be. So I encourage you guys, if you like the content in this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I encourage you guys to stay tuned, stay locked in with these videos on how to launch out, how to be and step into who you're meant to be. Because you can do all the courses, you can do all the videos, all the trainings, but something won't click until you click. Something won't change until you change. You can spend thousands upon I've done it. I've spent the money. I've done the courses. I've done the podcasts. I've listened to all of these trainings, all these videos. I've done them all. But it wasn't until I decided to do something myself and take that information and do something with it that I started seeing results. I started seeing a change. So yeah, go ahead and buy another course. Go ahead and do another online seminar, do another webinar, go to another networking event. But until you decide to change, nothing's going to change for you. And so if this has been impactful, let me know in the comments some things that you might be struggling with, some things that you're fearful about that we can address on here and talk about, because I want to share that with you. I want to impact your life. I want you to be able to start. I want you to be able to figure out what's holding you back and hit that start button on your life.